All right, everybody, welcome back to SouFLoTV. It is your host with the most, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has been selected to be the VP, which is Vice President. If she should win this race, she will be creating history in more than one factors of life. Now, Kamala, to the Jamaican people, there are many Jamaicans right now who are saying that, yo, she's one of us. Make sure you go vote for her. And then there are others who are saying she is no good for the black community and not all skin folk or kinfolk. So we are going to break down exactly who she is. More importantly, though, I came across some disturbing information because someone, well, not someone, but a group of people that are Jamaican were overheard saying stuff like, or writing on social media that she was abandoned by her Jamaican father. Like all other Jamaican men, or majority of Jamaican men, they have illegitimate children that they don't take care of. And then when the children become something great, they suddenly appear or walk around telling everybody, am I you that to know? Am I picking that to know? When they never raised the child at all. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly who her father is, what role he played in her life, and I am going to also explain to you her policies that I think are beneficial to the black community as well. Here we go. So, on August 11, Joe Biden announced that Kamala Harris would serve as the running mate, right, for the 2020 election cycle. The newly minted VP candidate isn't too familiar with being a first in her field. In 2011, Harris made history when she was elected as the first black and Indian American woman to serve as California's Attorney General. And if Joe Biden is selected, that is to be the President of the United States of America, she will be the first black, first female, and first Indian American Vice President. As a lawyer and U.S. Senator, Harris's identity is both her personal life and political, and has been largely shaped by her background. Her late mother, whose name is Shyamala Gopalan, who died in 2009. Her mom was actually an Indian immigrant, and her father, Donald J. Harris, is a Jamaican immigrant. So you notice that she has her father's last name. This doesn't sound like somebody who ran off and left an illegitimate child behind. Now, back in June, Harris shared an Instagram post in honor of her parents, right? Stating that my parents marched and my parents shouted in the civil rights movement in the 1960s. And it's because of them and the folks who also took to the streets to fight for justice that I am where I am. Why would she make a post like this and honor parents, both parents, if her father had abandoned her at a young age? Now, while Harris is very vocal about her Indian and her Jamaican roots, it's not often that she speaks out about her father. Now, below what we know about Harris, here we go. Before I move on any further, let me say this. A lot of people are saying, including myself, that's why I went and I did my research. A lot of us were saying, man, I have never heard her mention anything about Jamaica. I doubt if she has ever even set foot on the island of Jamaica. So she has a Jamaican father, but she has a Jamaican father that did not raise her even. She doesn't even claim Jamaica. She tells no one she's Jamaican. That's all a lie. I was a part of believing that lie until I did my research. And the reason why I did my research is because I don't want to be hating on a sister that could be beneficial to us. I don't want to be hating on a sister who doesn't have any hate for us, who could actually be beneficial to us. See, this political game that's being played right now, we got to figure out where we fit in as a people. You understand? And sometimes it comes down to choosing the lesser of two evils. But you get what I'm saying. Anyhow, Donald J. Harris, which is Kamala's father, he was born in Jamaica in 1938 and he moved to the United States in the 60s. Get this. He moved to the U.S. in the 60s to get his PhD at the University of California, Berkeley. He later became naturalized as a citizen. That means him get him citizenship, him things sort out. And he went on to teach at the University of Illinois and Northwestern University. Briefly, then became an associate professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison before moving to California and securing a job as a professor of economics at Stanford University. Now, after retiring in the late 1990s, he holds the title as an emeritus professor. So you see, if you want to figure out how she got to grow up in California, trace her father's history as far as where he was educated at and what educational institution he he worked at, and you will see that his child was with him, or his children were with him. Now, he spent many years at Stanford University, and according to Harris's bio, his research and publications have centered on exploring the analytical concept of the process of capital accumulation and its implications for a theory of growth of the economy, with the aim of providing thereby an explanation of the intrinsic character of growth as a process of uneven development. Okay. Now, throughout his career, right, her father traveled around the world to conduct research. He was a very busy man, a very highly educated, career-oriented individual. So he traveled around the world to conduct research, to give seminars, and to consult with various governments, including in his home country of Jamaica, where he served as an economic advisor to work towards boosting Jamaica's economy. All right, so to understand, say, our father, no Lily. You understand? So she comes from a great Jamaican as well. Now, Harris and Gopalan, Gopalan, which is her mom, and Harris, her dad, they both met at the University of California in Berkeley, which is where he left Jamaica to go study, right? To go get his PhD. Both her parents were at the university studying for their doctorates. So her mom was a university student at a doctoral level, and so was her father. Now, according to their daughter's autobiography, which is Kamala, she has an autobiography called The Truths We Hold. Donald and Shyamala, they met and they fell in love at Berkeley while participating in the civil rights movement. Speaking about her parents, Kamala said in an Instagram post that they laid the pathway for me as only the second black woman who ever elected to the United States Senate. So she is very well aware of history. She is very well aware of who were her pioneers to her greatness, and she gives them their praises. She says that her mom always said to her, don't just sit around and complain about things, do something. You understand? And she wishes that her mom was here right now to see the somethings that she is doing, just like she told her to. Now, Kamala was just about 7 years old when her parents separated. For those of you who are saying the man ran off and left an illegitimate child when the mom was pregnant. I've seen all kinds of rumors out there. And you know, if what we do here at SouFLoTV, we like to dispel the rumors. We like to make sure that our audience is actually in the know. Now, Kamala, she was just about 7 years old when her parents had separated, right? And her mother was granted full custody of Kamala and her sister Maya. Now in 2018, an essay that was written by their dad entitled Reflections of a Jamaican Father, and I tell you the name of all these bodies of work and writings so you can go look them up and read them for yourself. So in 2018, an essay was written by her father, Donald Harris, and it's entitled Reflections of a Jamaican Father. Go read it. He goes into detail in that about their divorce, noting that it came to an abrupt halt in 1972 after he lost a hard-fought custody battle in family court in Oakland, California. Now, despite the terms of their divorce, Harris says that his love for his family never ended. And when his marriage ended, he kept on loving his family regardless. I persisted, never giving up on my love for my children or reneging on my responsibility as their father. In an essay mentioned, that same piece of essay mentioned, which again is called Reflections of a Jamaican Father, go and look it up. He also talks about taking his daughters to Jamaica to teach them about their heritage. One of the most vivid, fondest memories, he says, I have of that early period in my childhood, in their childhood with them, is of the visit we made in 1970 to Orange Hill. I know right now a lot of people are saying, Marated, she not come here from 1970. She not Jamaican man. Listen, he is recalling one particular visit where it was really fun. In other words, she's been going to Jamaica since before 1970. You understand? And she has been back since. Another lie that I myself was believing, so I had to go look it up because I was saying, how could she be Jamaican? Why are Jamaicans celebrating her when she has never been to Jamaica at all? She hasn't even taken the interest in Jamaica enough to visit the island. Well, she has. Okay? So he says that we trudged through the cow dung and the rusted iron gates, up the hill and down the hill, along narrow, unkept paths, to the very end of the family's property, all in my eagerness just to show the girls the terrains over which I had wandered daily for hours as a boy, with Miss Christie hollering in the distance, you better come home now, boy, or else. This likely had a lasting impact on Kamala, who often reflects on her family's heritage and her ancestors, factors that have shaped her worldview as a politician. Now, during an appearance on a radio show, The Breakfast Club, with which most of you who are listening right now might not be familiar with 1970s stuff, including myself, because I wasn't even born yet. But if you're going to say The Breakfast Club, if you're going to say DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlemagne the God, you know what I'm saying? Then we're talking about modern times. So she recently did an interview on the popular show called The Breakfast Club. In February of this year, 2020, Kamala Harris joked with the host, Charlemagne the God. You know how Charlemagne is. He asks all kinds of questions, right? Questions that other interviewers are usually afraid to ask. So Charlemagne the God did an interview with her about her views on ganja, herb, marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it. When asked whether she supported or opposed the legalization of the drug, she replied saying, "Half my family is from Jamaica. Are you kidding me? Her father was far from amused when he heard about the interview. In other words, her dad didn't want to be associated with no ganja. You understand? And I think it's because he is one of those people who are of the upper echelons. Oh, those nasty raghead ganja smoking. That's all them do is sit down there and just smoke the weed, and non-progressive, non-productive, they pass judgment like that. Could be that, or it could actually be the fact that he saw something different in that interview, because on the national, international platform, they could easily paint her as some frivolous individual that probably lays around smoking ganja in her spare time and not focusing on what it is she's supposed to. You know how they spin stories. Anyways, he was not pleased with her answer when she said to Charlemagne the God, when he asked her if she supports marijuana, the legalization of marijuana or not. And she said, "Are you kidding me? Half of my family is from Jamaica. Are you kidding me?" You know Charlemagne the God. He probably said, "Well, I know you have that little Jamaican blood in you, right? So, tell me something. What about marijuana, ganja? Have you ever tried it before or whatever?" Because Jamaicans, weed go hand in hand. That is a stereotype anyways, by the way, because I know more Jamaicans that don't smoke it than I actually do that do smoke it. Anyhow, her father got wind of this interview. This is in 2020 recently. And he wrote this: "My dear departed grandmothers, whose extraordinary legacy I described in a recent essay on this website, as well as my deceased parents, must be turning in their graves right now to see their family name, reputation, and proud Jamaican identity being connected in any way, jokingly or not, with the fraudulent stereotype of a pot-smoking, joy-seeking, and in the pursuit of identity politics." Wow. So he was highly offended by that, obviously, right? But I don't think it was that serious. It was just one of those things where she was being honest. Charlemagne went on to ask her if she's ever tried weed before. And she said yes, she has, right? Now, to talk about her policies and if she's good for the black community or not, or if she's good for black people or not, or if she has our best interest at heart or not, I'm digging up her policies. If you are listening to this video and you know of any policies that this lady has supported that has done great harm to immigrants or to black people, the black community, then please list it in the comment section below, and let's have a realistic conversation, a truth conversation, and not a conversation about hearsay stuff that you cannot prove. Okay? Now, Kamala Harris, I know this for a fact, in 2020 has proposed a 100 billion with a B, 100 billion US dollar plan for black home ownership. She is calling on the nation to deal with the racial wealth gap. On Saturday, proposed a $100 billion federal program to help black people buy homes so they can become homeowners. And if you live in the United States of America, then you know what it means to actually own your own home. Okay? We're so used to being the ones to buy a flashy car before we get a home, a house. And in the meantime, the minute you drive that car off the lot where you just bought it, it immediately begins to depreciate in value. And I continue to preach the same thing to my people. You can buy a messed up house and you can, over time, take your time and fix that house up. And a $10,000 house, which was sold to you in a messed up manner, can actually be turned into $150,000 to $250,000 house. You understand? So it appreciates in value. But there are things that are set in place that makes it harder for black people to own homes. There are certain practices that happen behind the scenes. There are realtors and real estate companies that will only show a certain group of houses to black people. Then they'll take their other clients, Asians, whites, whoever else, to another group of houses, purposely making sure that they never move you into those types of communities, right? So if you ever wonder why you're being shown communities where a majority of the people that live in that community are black, and so on and so forth, it is because that is where they want to put you. She is working on changing all these things. She said that a typical black family has just $10 of wealth for every $100 that is held by a white family. This is what she publicly said. So we must right and wrong, and we must right that wrong. And after generations of discrimination, give black families a real shot at home ownership. Historically, one of the most powerful drivers of wealth in this country. Her housing program, that would come in the form of a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development grants, limited to families with incomes below $100,000 and max out income at $125,000 per year combined income. If your household makes over that, then this would not be for you. Now, Democrats concerned about income and racial inequality in the United States have long pointed to the lasting effect of redlining. I suggest you go read up what redlining is about. On Saturday, Harris also pledged to work to expand HUD Fair Housing Program, strengthen anti-discrimination lending laws, and amend the Fair Credit Reporting Act to require that credit scores include rent, phone, and utility payments. I don't know if you know how important this is, but I am on the issues. You understand? I'm not on the rumors. I am on the issues. Now, I've said this for the longest. These are bills that you pay every month like clockwork. And if you are in good standing in paying these bills reported to credit bureaus could be used to boost your income. They purposely left these off the books. Black people always pay their phone bills anyways. They always pay their utility bills anyways. They live somewhere, so they struggle and put the money together and they pay the rent anyways. Why not put it towards the credit bureau so it benefits them, is what she is saying. And that you don't understand the power that alone holds. You understand? So, is she good for the black community? I don't know 100%, but I know this. This policy alone right here makes me want to cast my vote for her. We have two choices in this election. Which one are you going with and why? I don't want to hear people say, oh, Donald Trump has done so much good for black people. I want you to list the things that he has done so I can go look them up myself. Leave your comments in the comment section below. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.